Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Happy Gilmore 2 stars Adam Sandler. Gilmore returns to the sport of golf since his retirement after winning his first tour championship to finance his daughter's ballet classes. Going into this film, I didn't really expect much, and after watching it, it pretty much was everything I expected. Coming out with a little bit of enjoyment from the film. But overall, it is kind of just something that Netflix decided to make, and it felt like 20 years too late type of deal. Netflix is giving Adam Sandler a lot of money to make films for him, so it's like, yeah, let's make a Happy Gilmore 2, throw it on Netflix, and that's what it really feels like. But it is better than the most streaming sequels of films from like the 90s or the 80s. This is one of the better ones. That isn't really that hard to do, but it is one of the better ones. And for some reason, always with these like sequel with legacy characters or some form of like that, they always have to make them dour, like they're miserable. Something happened to them a couple years ago for them to ruin their life to become like an alcoholic and basically give up on life where someone else is taking care of them. I don't know why they keep doing that, but they did that with Happy Gilmore. The way that he gets to this point in his life is stupid. I didn't like it. I found it to be dumb. They basically took away the happy ending that he gets in Happy Gilmore, and I'm like, what? You just basically undone everything to just redo that same thing. Because he loses the house in this movie again. He loses basically everything in this movie and moves to a not very good neighborhood with 5 children that he has to take care of that really takes care of him. And so for the past 5 years, he's been working like at a grocery store. His kids are off going to school. He has a daughter trying to take ballet classes, but they're too expensive. So now he has to go back and play golf and win the tour tournament again. Only though to win a different tournament, which because people are getting sick and tired of normal golf, which I don't know how golf is now these days. I don't know how well it's doing. Probably not as well it used to be doing. But the thing that they replace it with is TikTok version of golf, which is way worse than just normal golf. But I'll talk about a little bit more about that later on in the review. But how is the film really overall? It's just a lot of nothing but memorabilia. This film uses so many flashbacks, and it got to the point where it's like they became unnecessary, to where like Happy Gilmore runs into someone from the previous film, and they have to use a flashback to remind you like, hey, this person is that person. It's like, we know this. The people that are going to watch this film are the ones that really like the first one, like, and probably watched it 1,000 times over the years. We don't need these flashbacks. It doesn't make any sense. They're stupid. They don't add anything, and a lot of the new jokes don't land in this film. There's some that do land. Some old jokes that they retread from the first one are still funny to this day in this one. But there's a couple of new ones in here that did make me chuckle a few times while watching it, but that mostly involved using the old cast members like Shooter McGavin. Like, there's so many funny moments with Shooter McGavin. They just made him fucking go nuts because he lost that tournament like 40 years ago, which is hilarious. I thought that was actually kind of funny. But what was not funny were the new characters. Like, they have a new like ball boy or bag boy or whatever, and they try to add a story for this guy. He just wasn't really doing it for me. He seemed normal at first, but then he just kind of just went off the walls throughout the film. So the character kind of just fell off initially after you first introduce him, because he seemed like a normal person who just kind of just now decided to lose his mind because to be funny, over the top type of stuff. I'm like, okay, this guy's just stupid. This film is bogged down with a bunch of cameos from celebrities. Now, there's cameos in the original one, but not as ridiculous as in here. Like, there's cameos from like music artists down to podcasters, down to Margaret Qualley making a cameo in this film, and she was not funny. And I like Margaret Qualley, but she just wasn't funny at all in this movie. She had this weird one-off part, and Nixon was never mentioned ever again until maybe the end of the film. There's so much. This film is so bloated that it tried to be too funny, and you can see that it's trying to be, and it's just not working. But when the film was actually working, when it was around the original cast members with a couple of new ones, mostly with the kids are actually really funny. They act like a younger version of Happy Gilmore, but now there's just like 4 or 5 of them, which they go off the walls, which is hilarious. That's actually funny, and I wish that they actually had more of an intergrip with the film itself, helping train Happy Gilmore, because Happy Gilmore hasn't been in golf for a couple years, so he has to go retrain himself. And having them be involved with that would have had that emotional, heartfelt for the film, especially for the reason why Happy Gilmore isn't playing golf anymore. They had certain things to make this film work, but they decided to choose the funny option than trying to be the heartfelt option. This film could have been easily very emotional and, and also fun at the same time, but they just decided to play it safe and choose the easy route than try to actually give some form of effort. It does really feel like Grown Ups 2 in a way. It's just like, let's go off the walls, let's go crazy for no reason, especially with the tournament towards the end of the film. The tournament for this new league, the rules don't make any sense. And next, when you have the owner of the league who doesn't like the person that's winning, and it's not someone that is his own person winning, he cheats. He changes up the course on purpose because he has like a remote control to mess with the course, which I don't know how that makes any sense. And he can mess with it, and it throws off Happy or the other team members that are getting ahead of his own team. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, who would want to root for this type of sport in the first place? It's so stupid, so dumb. It's okay. You're not really getting much out of it. I would be a little bit more harsher on this film if it was in theaters, which this movie would have made a buttload of money if it did get put out in theaters, because people really like Happy Gilmore. But I would have been a lot more upset, because then you would waste my time going to the theater to watch it there instead of watching it at home. So since it is a streaming film, since it's a Netflix film, and I had a little bit more entertainment time with it than I expected, I'm willing to, kind of just like, yeah, take it or leave it type of stuff. And I've been seeing people being disappointed with the film overall and actually not liking it in general. I mean, like, it's not something I really watch ever again, but I didn't really expect much from it, so I don't really have the disappointment that other people are having for this film. And I set my expectations for low, which I feel like everyone should have, especially when it's Netflix. Like, this whole entire movie is just, it has Netflix all over it, written all over it. The whole plot line is just straight up Cobra Kai. It's just straight up from Cobra Kai. It's the same blueprint. So yeah, it's okay. But it's pretty much going to be forgettable. No one's going to really remember this in a month. It's going to be one of those films like, oh, that did come out. I'm going to give Happy Gilmore 2 a C-. If you're a big fan of the first one, you will have a couple laughs throughout this new one, but don't really expect much from it. It doesn't have much heart to it like the first one does. It has the opportunity to actually bring some form of emotion to the film, but it decides not to. And it's kind of disappointing in that way. But yeah, it's a take it or leave it type of stuff, I guess. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys next review. Bye, guys.